In Lesson 8.8, we're going to talk about three-dimensional figures. So, we have a lot of vocabulary words to fill in here. So, a three-dimensional figure or a solid is made up of polygons, which is just a fancy word for shapes. Okay, and a face is a flat side, which is the polygon. An edge is where two faces meet. Okay, it's a segment. It's the line part. And a prism is a solid of two congruent, which means equal, parallel faces. And when they're the two that match, we call them bases. Bases. And rectangles for all other faces. Okay, the bases of a prism are the two congruent and parallel sides, or faces. And the height of a prism is just the distance. Oh, that's yucky. Distance between the two bases. Alright, so let's label all that up on this picture. So this arrow should really come right into the middle of this. This is your base. Because you can see that the top and the bottom here are the two matching shapes. So those are your bases. This line right here, that's an edge. This side, this arrow is pointing to this rectangle, that is a face. And then this along here, this is also an edge, but because it's connecting the two bases, that's also your height. Let me fill that in on my notes. Okay. So a cube over here, this is a cube, is a six-sided prism made up of congruent squares. So everything matches. Whew, that was a lot. So pause the video and fill that in before moving on to yet some more vocabulary. Okay, almost done. So what is this shape over here at the right? This is a cylinder. So a cylinder has two congruent parallel bases that are circles. So you can see this going up and down is your height. And these two circles at the top and the bottom are your bases. And the height of a cylinder is the distance between the bases. Or between the circles. Okay? That looks kind of gross. Let's fix all that. Oops. The circles, which are the bases. Okay, so what is this shape over here? This is a pyramid. And it has, now I'm going to get fancy, but this is actually a square pyramid. There's different types of pyramids. So a square pyramid has 4 faces that meet at one point, which is called the vertex, and a base that is a square, which is why we call it a square pyramid. So this guy in the middle here, this arrow should be pointing inside, that's your base. And this little point at the top, that's the vertex. Now what is this next shape? That is a cone. It has 1 circular base and 1 vertex. So here's your vertex. Bring this inside a little bit, and that is your base. Okay, so fill all that in. Pause the video if you need to, before we move on to the last shape. Okay, and lastly, a sphere is a set of all points in space that is same distance from a center point. So this little dot in the center, that'll be your center. Okay, so fill all those in before we try some examples. Alright, so here's where it's going to get a little tricky. Well, the first one's not bad. Now we're just going to name stuff. So this figure, that's easy. That's just, whoops. Okay, that's, ooh, hello. Okay, that's just a sphere. Now, they're going to take us through the steps onto how to draw a pentagonal prism. It's a pentagonal because it's got a pentagon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for the top and the bottom. So first, they want us to draw a pentagon, which they did for us. Now they want us to draw a second pentagon, congruent to the first. So needs to be 2 across, come up, up, over, over. Okay, as best I can. And now we're going to connect all the corners, and we're going to use dotted lines for hidden edges. So I will see these 3 in the front. If I connect straight down, I'll see all these. Then all the other lines are going to get to be dotted because I won't see those there in the back of the shape. So we're not going to judge you on your artistic ability. Just do the best you can in drawing these. Okay? So now pause the video and try those 3 quick checks. The first 2, you're just naming the shape. And the second one, do your best to try to draw a triangular prism. And we'll check your working class.